Hello. So today we are going to see customer value and customer relationship. You may remember in the last session I was speaking about the ingredients of marketing, what is marketing and the essential aspects of marketing. So today we are going to see customer value and customer relationship. Remember my earlier session wherein I said, it's very important for you to acquire a customer. So before acquiring a customer, what do? You research, you study the need of a customer, create the product and offer the product. So once you offer the product, it is very essential to ensure that your customer base is intact. Is it easy? Let me tell you, it is very difficult. Unless you are a committed marketer, it's very difficult to retain the consumers. Now look at this. Now what is customer delivered value? This is a very important concept in marketing. The customer delivered value is defined as the difference between total customer benefits and total customer cost. Now I'll take this little later. Now let me take you to a modern versus a traditional organization chart. Look at here. You see against the traditional charts, what do you see here? You see top management, middle management, frontline people and customers. Now isn't it funny to have customers at the bottom? See, the whole thought has changed. Now as per the modern thought, customers come at the top. See here, you have customers, frontline people, middle management and top management. We have completely inversed the old thought and old diagram. Can you survive without a customer? Top management is not important. It is important to have customers at the center, customers everywhere. The whole organization works for customers. Can you get revenue without customers? Can you build a factory without customer? Impossible, isn't it? So therefore, it's very important for you as a marketer to keep your customers at the top. Everything comes below. Now immediately next to customers, what comes? Your frontline people. See, would you be happy if a person with whom you are interacting to buy a camera, for example, if he doesn't serve you, would you still continue? I don't think you'll continue. So for customers, frontline people, your service people are very important, and then comes the market middle management and top management. So the thought has changed now from a traditional to a modern organization chart where customer is everything. Now when we are talking about customer, I think one thing you need to remember, that's customer perceived value. What do you mean by customer perceived value? Look at here. Customer perceived value, it's simply the difference between the prospective customer's evaluation of all the benefits and the cost of an offering and perceived alternatives. Now what do you mean by benefits and costs? Now can you evaluate the benefit of a product that you are planning to buy? Yes, you can evaluate. Now I am taking you to the calculation, how you are going to calculate the benefit and the cost. Look at here, you have a total customer benefit. I am taking an example. I just showed you in the previous, a picture, a camera. So you want to buy a camera. Now in the market, you have plenty of brands. You have Nikon and you have got some other international brand. So me as a first time buyer, I want to buy a camera. There are n number of brands. Now how do I evaluate? That's a big challenge, isn't it? See, I'm a first time consumer. I want to buy a camera. There are a lot of brands in front of me, and for me, perhaps 50,000 rupees could be, a little expensive, but still I want to evaluate whether this brand is good or that brand is good. How do I do that? So look at here. I have to evaluate product benefit, services benefit, personal benefit, and image benefit. What do you mean by, product benefit? Simple, the features. I'm going to different, the outlets of these brands. I'm going to see the brand. I'm going to see the product. What are the features of, these products I'm going to see. Now, after that, I'm going to look at the services. I'm going to ask them, look, if I come back immediately after 15 days with a problem, would you attend? If I come back after 5 years, would you attend? Now, that does make a lot of difference. For example, you buy a Samsonite luggage. They say up to 10 years, you can travel any part of the world. If you have a problem, it has been attended to. Isn't it great? Though you pay a premium for that particular luggage, but then if the marketer can attend to my product even after 5 years, is it not great? That is what is known as services benefit. And then you have personal benefit. Always remember, the personal interaction with the employee is very important. I visit any factory or any service center, and then if they can, receive me with a warm, welcome, that is, I would say, a personal benefit. And then image benefit. See, if I buy a brand that gives me a sort of image, and I consider that as a benefit vis-a-vis other product that is unheard of. So this is where the brand name comes in. So you have total customer benefit that comprises of 4 aspects: product benefit, service benefit, and personal benefit, and finally image benefit. So I'm keeping this benefit at one side, and I'm looking at the cost. So what is my cost? What is it I'm incurring? See, when you buy a camera, well, you take a card, you take your credit card or debit card, and then you give it. Now that is a cost. That's money that goes from your bank. But is it the only cost? No. There are plenty of other costs. You have time cost. How about spending a lot of time going to different outlets and inquiring? Is it not a considerable amount of time? Is it not a considerable amount of time that you spend? And energy cost. How about energy? In the sense, you walk, you do your research on internet, and then you speak to a lot of people and think about that particular product. Energy cost and psychological cost. When I say psychological cost, when you spend money that is worth considering, or it's beyond your a normal budget, it would haunt you to an extent that you keep on worrying, have I made the right decision? So the psychological cost, wherein you think about the money versus benefit, but again it is a cost. If you ask me to measure, I don't think I can do it, but certainly one thing I can tell you, when you are buying a product, there are costs besides the currency that you exchange with your retailer. So you have here, you have monetary cost, time cost, energy cost, and psychological cost. Now what do we have here? We have benefit versus cost. If your benefit is better than the cost, then as a consumer, I would consider, well, it's worth it. If I get more benefit than the cost, then I consider that product worth considering. I'm sure you would do the same thing when you are buying a product which is worth a considerable amount. Now look at this, a value offering. You have 2 products here. You have product 1 and then product 2. Now if a customer favors value 1, this particular V1 product, and then I think you as a marketer can consider your product has a potential market. This goes with value 2. But there are instances where the consumer remains indifferent, this is where, as a marketer, you have to ensure the indifferent consumer comes in favor of your brand. How to do it? Well, we would look into that a little later. Now, from the competitor's point of view, I think we need to do a sort of analysis. This is known as customer value analysis. I'm just going to run through just in a minute. What is written here? It's written here, identify major attributes and benefits customer values. So that means, see, look, I'm selling a product. For example, in this particular instance, well, I sell a motorbike. Now, I represent a company. For example, let's say I represent TVS. Now, as a TVS company, I have competitors. I have Hero, I have Honda, and I have Bajaj. Now, I need to analyze my customer, how do they perceive? So I'm going to take one particular brand that is being, that is the same brand with the same price point is being sold by different consumers. I'm going to see the attributes and the benefits each customer values for that same competing brand of my product with the other competitors. Now, what do I do next? I assess and the quantitative importance of the different attributes and benefits, and then the companies and competitors' performance on different customers' value against rated importance. Now, that's very important as a marketer. I need to know, how does my product stand against my competitor? Then the fourth aspect, examine how customers in specific segment rate companies' performance vis-a-vis the other competitors. Now, monitor customer value over a period of time. So, if you can do that, if you can do with your competitive product the aspects that I mentioned, the aspects that I mentioned here, you will get to know the customer value vis-a-vis your competitor. It's very important, isn't it? So, as a marketer, you need to understand your customer as well as your competitors, where do they stand. Now, I'm going to take you to a very interesting term called loyalty. Now, what do you mean by loyalty? It's quite often this particular word is used. I'm loyal to this particular product. I'm loyal to this particular person. I'm loyal to this particular, director. What does it mean? So, look at here. Loyalty is a deeply held commitment. If you read this particular, definition, a deeply held commitment to rebuy or repatronize a preferred product or service in the future, despite situational influences and marketing efforts having the potential to cause switching behavior. Now, you go to a spa, for example, and you would find, that particular spa, wherein a lot of customers are waiting. But still, you wouldn't go to a nearby spa. What do? You don't mind waiting. You rather come back and again go to the same spa wherein you wanted to go first. Now, if you do that, then you are a loyal customer. Why? Because, when you went, there wasn't a space, or there wasn't, the customers, were there, and you didn't have opportunity to go immediately. But still, in spite of that, you're waiting or you're coming back. That is because thanks to the loyalty developed by that particular brand. Take another instance where you're going to a shop, you're asking for a soap of your desired brand, and the retailer says, I'm sorry, I don't have stock. If you can wait, come back to the retailer, well, your loyalty is pretty strong. If you don't wait, take a competitor's product, well, that means, yes, I think, when there is a potential cost to switch behavior, you are switching. So would you like a loyal customer or somebody who's switching? I'm sure definitely you like a loyal customer. Now look at here. Now from the perceived value and the loyalty, I'm taking you to a total customer satisfaction. Now, what do you mean by total customer satisfaction, or what do you mean by satisfaction? See, I take some food and I say I'm satisfied. So when I say I'm satisfied, what do you mean by that? My feeling of pleasure or disappointment, that perceived performance out of that particular consumption. Now look at here a simple definition. Satisfaction is a person's feeling of pleasure or disappointment, that perceived performance or outcome to the expectation. That means I expect a particular product gives me some amount of pleasure. If I get that pleasure, I am satisfied. So here, look at here, performance, right, falls short. If I buy a brand, I mean, let's say in this particular example, I buy a mobile phone, any brand. Now, if that brand falls short of my expectation, I am dissatisfied, isn't it? Yes, I am dissatisfied. Now, if the performance of that mobile exceeds my expectation, I'll be delighted. I'm sure, I mean, this is the case with you. I mean, you buy a mobile phone, and if the performance exceeds your expectation, you'll be delighted. Now, see, always remember, this is very important, studying the satisfaction level of the consumer, whether he is dissatisfied, whether he is satisfied, or whether he is delighted. It's very, very important. Unless you get this feedback, you cannot improve on your product or service. Agree with me? Now, how do we do that? You know, I mean, it's our responsibility as a marketer to study and analyze the consumer, whether he is satisfied, he is dissatisfied, or he is delighted. How do we do that? Look at here. There are three methods wherein through these methods you can monitor the satisfaction of your consumers. Now, what is one? What is the first one? Periodic survey. Do a periodic survey. Don't be complacent. Never ever be of the opinion my product is the best. The day you think your product is the best, you're gone out of the market, because there is always somebody who's there to outsmart you with this competing product. So remember, you have to periodically survey your product or service. Now, mystery shoppers. This is something, suppose, I mean, you sell a product, I mean, that's wherein the customer relationship is very important. Better you send a lot of mystery shoppers. What do you mean by mystery shoppers? Like, for example, I market, I mean, accessories, some accessories. Now, I go to a retail shop wherein my accessories are being sold. I will pose as a consumer, and I'm going to evaluate the response level of the person who is interacting with me. That's very important. So this is what is called mystery shopper. You pose as a customer, whereas you are not actually the customer, you are the seller, or rather the supplier of the product. You are going to see the performance level or the service level of the seller. Mystery shopper. And customer compliance. Now, I think this is the most important aspect in any marketing function. Customer compliance. I'm going to take this to you, I mean, in detail a little later, but never ever, I mean, never ever take your customer complaint easy. Take it very, very seriously, because if a customer has unhappy experience, he has the potential to spoil your brand image. How he is going to do? I am going to take you to the next one. Look at here. Now, customer complaints, I am talking about customer complaints. Take an instance where you sell 100 customers, I mean to 100 customers, and 25 of them are unhappy or dissatisfied. Is it good? Certainly it is not good. Assume that this happened for some reason. Now, the research says 5% of them they comply. Out of 25 dissatisfied customers, only 5% of them are going to comply. Now, if you can attend to them, then 54 to 70% of the customers, the dissatisfied customers, will be happy. Now, look at here. Now, if we can do it immediately, if we can immediately address, then 95% of them, they rebuy, they come back and then they buy your product. But if you don't resolve, they grip and they tell others. If you resolve, not that all of them are going to tell the others, but certainly some amount of customers will go and tell others. So the point is, when you have dissatisfied customers, do attend to them immediately, because that's very important. Now look at here, how to maximize customer lifetime value. I'm just taking you, I'm taking you from customer complaint to maximizing customer lifetime value. We have a very interesting chart here. See here, 80-20 rule. What do you mean by 80-20 rule? A very common term has been used very loosely at times. In marketing term, what do you mean by 80-20 rule? Look at here, that 20% of the customers in the pie, they contribute 80% of your profits. Isn't it interesting? You may have 1 lakh customers, but the research says 20,000 customers of your total 1 lakh customers are contributing 80% of profits. So what a big chunk of profit which has been contributed by a small number of customers. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it a paradox where a small percentage of the customers are contributing to your 80% of profits? Let's see how this is happening. See here, you have customers. Now that 10 to 20% customers here, they have the potential to increase your profit by 150 to 300%. So if you can make them happy, that 10 to 20%, they can increase your profit by 150 to 300%. I'm going to give you an example. I'm sure you must have gone to different retail establishments. I'm taking one example here, Shoppers Stop. Now Shoppers Stop, if you visit this swanky shopping center, have you not seen a privileged customer area? Next time when you go, do watch this particular privileged customer area. What they do, they consider a group of customers, maybe 10% or 20%, as a privileged customer. They call it platinum card or gold card or whatever card, and different people have got a different ways of categorization. But this small group of customers are pampered or considered very important by Shoppers Stop. Now suppose Shoppers Stop is planning to launch a campaign a discount campaign, this 10 to 20% of the customers are intimated first. You will be really surprised when this campaign happens. If you belong to the other segment, you can't even go and avail this discount. Now that is one way of Shoppers Stop strategy to pamper, to please this selective privileged customers. Therefore, they increase the profit by 150, anything between 150 to 300 per account. That is the reason why Shoppers Stop is one of the leading companies earning profit. I am just giving you an example. There could be several other successful companies like this. Now this 60 and 70, they break even, they help you to break even. Are they important? If you ask me, yes, they are very, very important, because you need to retain them. Now unfortunately, if you see the bottom of this, the 20%, they have the capability to reduce your profit by 50 to 200%. So look at, isn't it very interesting? You have got 10 to 20%, they can increase your profit by 300%, and you have remaining 60 to 70%, they break even, and you have got one chunk of customers, they can reduce your profit by anything between 50 to 200%. So now, as a marketer, you have to have strategy for each customer segment. Now let me elaborate a little bit on this. Now see, look at here, you have 4 different products, product 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now see the other side, you have highly profit customer, mixed bag customer and losing customer, and look at the other side, highly profitable, profitable, unprofitable and highly unprofitable. See, if a customer buys product 1 and product 2, the C category where he is falling, is a high profit customer. So would you like to retain him? I am sure, I think you would go all the way to please him and retain this high profit customer. Now come to the other extreme. For the time being, I am not taking C2. Come to the other extreme. You have a customer who is buying mixture of your products. He buys one product that contributes profit, but at the same time he buys 2 products that's unprofitable and highly unprofitable. So the net return for you is a loss, not profit. Now what are the strategy? What is that he can do with this particular customer? Number 1, there could be multiple opportunities or possibilities. I would withdraw one of these products that doesn't give me profit. It's one way of looking at it. Or encourage this customer to buy product that is profitable. How to do it? Well, I think you need a lot of thinking and a lot of strategies and so on. Now I am coming to the middle. You have a customer who buys one highly profitable product and other unprofitable products. Now this is a big challenge for any marketer. You want consumer buying a product that gives you profits. At the same time, you can't have all products that are profitable. It's almost impossible. So lure this particular customer to buy a product that gives you profits. So these all are different strategies as far as the marketers are concerned to increase the profitability of the organization. Now see, if you look at the whole gamut of customer satisfaction, so far I was talking about the importance of retaining a happy customer, and then the meaning of customer perceived value, value maximization, and how to retain a customer and how to address the customer dissatisfaction. I am sure you would have some idea, by now you would have some idea what do you mean by customer value and what do you mean by retaining good customer and how to react to a customer dissatisfaction. When I come next time, I will talk about brand equity. Thank you.